Oh, hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the five most important Linux commands for newbies. As you can see in my picture, I got this healthy baby. Just basically, he's going to be a massive programmer. He's going to invent the next Bitcoin or something. Well, he's ready. Um, but anyways, so here you are in this situation where you install Linux. You're, a new person. You want to experiment with Linux, and then all of a sudden you find yourself trying to figure out what things you could do in Linux. I always tell everybody to, learn how to install software into Linux, because that gives you additional capabilities, right? Now, sometimes you might come across where you have to use what is called a terminal, or sometimes they call it a shell, and that's what we're going to discuss in this specific video. So we're going to discuss probably the five commands that I think are most useful to somebody who's new to Linux. At the very end, I will actually provide you with some other resources where you could find some Linux guides, Linux courses, blogs, etc. that could be of benefit for somebody who's starting. So I'll see you on the next screen, and we will discuss basically what is a shell. So actually, what is a shell? No, it's not a seashell or anything like that. As a shell basically is the interface in most operating systems that is in charge of taking written commands and then passing it to the operating system. In this case, we're talking about Linux. The term is also interchangeably with terminal. Okay, so as you can see here in the screen, I'm gonna show you a little bit about the usage workflow, the shell usage workflow. So this is just in written form, and in the next screen, I'm gonna show you how it actually looks in the operating system. But so the actual usage workflow, the way it works, you simply open a terminal and you could press Control Alt T for that, or simply click on the terminal icon. Then you type the chosen command, and then the command will be validated and passed to the operating system. Then Linux will execute the command, and then Linux will display the corresponding output for that command. Okay, and in the next screen, I actually show you how that works. All right, hello everyone. Here we are inside of the LXLE Ubuntu 64-bit workstation inside of VMware Workstation Player. Okay. In most of these Linux distributions, you're gonna find an icon that resembles like a terminal screen. In this case, it's right here. Most of the places is placed somewhere on your desktop. Okay, and it will make at least accessing the terminal point and click. So over here, I'm just gonna basically click on this icon, and it's gonna give me the terminal. As you can see, the terminal has this particular terminal utility has a name. The name is Sakura. I'll try my best with the Japanese, but I apologize to Japanese people if I didn't mention that right. But like I said, I gave it the best shot. Okay. All right. So as you can see, here's the terminal right here. Another way of, and by the way, to close it, you just point and click. Just click on the X, and it goes away. Another way, you could go to the navigational menu, go to control menu, go to utilities, and then go to Sakura, and it will open it as well, as you can see right here. Same thing, you'll close it the same way. Now, to open the terminal, you could do it through the keyboard, through keyboard commands. So you press Control Alt T, and that will give you a terminal. Okay. So now let me show you something in this specific terminal, and this is in reference to the um, shell and terminal workflow. Okay. So in this instance, I'm just going to type this command, and I'm going to press enter. So what happened here? Linux is saying command not found, and that's because there's no such thing as a KJL, FJ, LJ command in Linux. All right. So as I was telling you, you issue the written command on the terminal. What Linux does in returns, it validates that this is a command that is part of Linux. If it doesn't find that command, it will just basically say command not found. That is actually how Linux is intended to work. Now we're gonna give it an actual command that is part of Linux, and in this case we're gonna do the dir, which stands for directory. And what this command does, it asks Linux to show you the directories inside the root folder. So you're gonna press you're gonna type dir, and then you're gonna press enter, and then exactly what it did was actually show you all of the folders inside the root folder. So what Linux does is validate these commands, and then after it says, well, this is a valid command, so now this is what this command is asking me to do, it basically executes on your behalf, and it shows you the output corresponding to that command. All right. So basically, that's pretty much that. It should be not too much of an issue. Like I said, don't get too caught up on this, because I'm gonna give you at least 5 commands that will allow you to understand what you're doing, and then kind of like feel your way around as you move forward. Okay. So I will see you on the next screen. All right. So here we are inside the Ubuntu desktop one more time. And basically, I'm going to show you now how to use the ls command. Ls stands for list, and basically what that command does, it actually lists the contents of a directory. Okay, so we're going to open up our terminal. Here we are, and then in this terminal, I'm going to show you how the command actually works. Okay, so I'm going to type ls, and then I'm going to basically press enter, and then I will have all of the contents of the location where I'm at. Okay, so I'm inside the home/QWERTY folder, and in that particular folder, these are all of the directories that are inside of that folder. Okay, so as you can see, basically the terminal opens up to the home directory, and then that's what it's actually showing. Okay, so as I say again, ls, it comes with different options, but we will discuss that a little bit later when I discuss another command that will show you the parameters that you could use, the arguments that you could use for every single command. Okay, but if I was to do ls-l, it will show you now the same folders and directory, but it's like on a different view, right? So you will have the actual folder name all the way at the end, but at the very beginning, it's going to show you the actual permissions to that folder, as well as other information, the location where it's at, and then it's also going to show you when it was created. Okay, so at this point, you could also just type exit, and that will get you out of the terminal. All right, and I will see you on the next screen. Okay, here we are again for tip number 2. I have already opened the terminal window, and what we're going to talk about is the cd command. The cd command stands for change directory. All right, so just to reintegrate what we did before, I'm going to type the ls command. I'm going to press enter. All right, let's say for example that I'm looking at this structure that I have, the display that I have, and I say, well, I want to change to the public directory. So I will type cd, and then I will type public, and I will press enter. So now at the very end, my cursor has a /public. It means that that is the location where I'm at. And then if you want to go ahead on and re-investigate the contents of the public directory, you could always go back and press ls, and press enter. And if it comes back this way, it means that the directory is empty. It's nothing inside the directory. Now to go back into the home directory, you just press cd, and then you just press enter, no slashes or anything, and it's going to take you back to the original directory, which is the home directory in this case. All right, I will see you on the next tip. 3. All right, and what we're going to talk about this time is going to be the man command. Man stands for manual. So I have given you guys 2 commands so far, the cd command and the ls command on the previous 2 tips. So now the way in which the man commands works, just press man, just type man on the actual window, and then you'll type the command, the manual for a specific command that you want to look into. In this case, I'm going to use the first one, which is ls, and then you're just going to press enter. So now what happens is that it gives you all of the information about that particular command, the description, and then all of the arguments that you could use. In the previous case, I use ls space dash l. So if you look at this over here, it's in alphabetical order as well, but it's going to actually tell you what the L command does for you. In this case, the dash L, that's lowercase l, is it uses a long listing format. Okay, remember how I went first, and the first display was like spread out across, and then when I used the dash L, it basically brought it back on a listing format. So that's what that does, and that's what this manual, this man command does for you. Now, once you're inside, if you want to go up and down, you could use your arrow keys and then look at different things, at different parameters. You could go all the way to the top as well. And if you just want to completely exit the manual for that command, you just press the Q letter and it takes you out. And then we just press exit as I did before to just get completely out of the terminal. Okay, I will see you on the next tip. Again, inside of the Ubuntu desktop. All right, so we're going to talk about the MV or the move command. That's what that one is used for. All right, so I want to show you what I want to do with that one, and then we're going to execute it. In this case, we are inside the desktop. The desktop is an actual folder inside the home directory. Okay, so on the desktop we got two files. We have a folder which is called test1. It's this one right here. And then we also have a file called ABC. All right, so what I want to do, I want to move this file right here, this ABC file, inside the test1 folder, and I will show you how that's done. So I will open my terminal right here, and then I will actually list the contents just to reintegrate, and it will show you that I'm on the home directory, and the desktop is a folder inside the home directory. Okay, so we're gonna change to the desktop, and here we are. And then inside the desktop, what we're going to do, we're going to use the move command to move the ABC file to the test1. So basically, we're going to do this. We're going to type MV, and then space, and it's going to be the file name, okay, which is ABC. And then we're going to actually put it inside the test1 folder. And then we're going to press enter. And you'll see on real time on my desktop to the left that the file actually disappeared, but it went inside that folder that you see right there. So now if we change to the test1 folder, which is the one inside the desktop, here we are, and then we're going to list the contents of it. It's going to show you the ABC file. So that's how you use the move command. All right, make sure that if you get lost with that particular one, always rely on your man, your man command, to figure out how to use the parameter to execute that specific command. All right, I will see you on the last and final tip. Again, inside of the VirtualBox, the Ubuntu desktop. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is like how to open programs in the terminal window through commands. Okay, sometimes you find yourself in a situation in which you install a piece of software and you didn't get an icon automatically like you do in Windows, that you could double click and then it basically allows you to open that piece of software. So what you do at this point, you can always use the terminal to open a particular piece of software. In this case, I'm going to show you here graphically. We're going to open up one of the games, and in this case it's going to be eBoard, right? So at least we know the name of the software. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the terminal, and then I'm just going to type eBoard. I'm going to press enter, and here's the software right here. It opens it up with no problems, right? So now, one thing that you have to keep in mind, you have to kind of like also know the name of the software that you're trying to open. And another tip is that maybe in most of the cases it works. In some cases the name changes a little bit from what you know about the software. All right, So, but for most of the times it works. So this is like another option that you have just in case you get lost or something like that. And then also to give you a little bit more familiarity with the terminal window. All right, I will see you in the next and last screen here with my closing remarks, and certain advice to like expand your knowledge on the terminal windows in Linux. Okay, so here we are on the last screen of this video, and then also on the closing remarks. I would recommend to new people that's trying to try Linux, want to give Linux a try, to usually use like YouTube videos. You could also use blogs. You could go to your library and get library books on Linux administration, and then ultimately you will have to practice, practice, practice. Okay, with these commands that I gave you, you will be you could be able to build on top of those, and then expand your knowledge on the terminal. One of the reasons why I actually create this video and others as well is because a lot of the times you see an actual YouTube video even or a library book, and it tells you how everything is supposed to work. But sometimes you don't get the information on how things don't work, or basically the gadgets, as I will call it, the obstacles that you will face when you try to do this. Most of the times, these commands work pretty much straightforward. Sometimes they don't. It all depends what you're trying to do. So that's why you have your 5 tips and something that you could actually use to build upon. Okay. So if you have any comments, make sure that you leave them in the comments section. Also, if you can, press that like button, or like they say on the YouTube world, smash the like button, and also subscribe, because I have other videos that I'm planning to do as far as Linux is concerned and other technological aspects. Alright guys, so thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you on my next video.